What up, though? It's your boy, DBBD, and I'm the worst videographer of all time. I was just sat here again, for another 5 minutes talking about what I was going to talk about today, and my camera just shut off. I'm like, what the heck? So I go back and I try to look to see if my recording, or if I'm recording, or if my video is saved, and it didn't, because I wasn't recording. I'm just talking to an empty camera. So, what up, though? It's your boy DBBD. We're gonna get it started again. Maybe it was a good thing because I was rambling on, and hopefully this time I'll ramble on, and I'll have something to talk about. But anyways, last video we talked about reception. Now we're gonna talk about actually going to basic training. Basic training is a big encompass of everything, but your basic training really doesn't start until after reception. Reception is just in processing. So after you in process at reception, you finally go to basic training. So that night you pack up everything you have, and then that next morning you go to breakfast, do whatever last bit things you got to do, and then you wait for your drill sergeant to come pick you up. Like right where I was in Fort Leonard Wood, right outside the chow hall, there's lines up under an awning, and it was cold that morning. They had the heaters on, which is good, and there's lines, and you stand on the line, and you and that's, at the time we didn't know, that's how they were gonna have us split up into platoons, because as soon as the drill sergeant showed up, you're like, oh shit, it's going down, it's official, we're about to be in basic training, and it's about to start. And this is where the gauntlet is. I'm like, oh, you run off the cattle truck and you get smoked and all that stuff. I'll get into that more. But so you're standing in line, you're half right face, sort of, kind of, and you're holding up your cards, your ID card, and your ID tags are out and all that stuff. And your drill sergeants hop off the bus, and then they running around, screaming and yelling, and they try to jumble you up and stuff like that. And they start putting numbers on your bags, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then you realize, oh shit, this is what we're gonna be with. Everybody who's a one's gonna be with ones, twos, threes, and so on. And so we start trying to look around, because you can't move. You're trying to look around and see who you're with. And dang, is my best friend here? Oh, am I not? Dang it, I'm not with this guy. I'm not with this guy. And it's a snap. So yeah, that was a good time, that little bit. And then they shove you into this cattle. Once everything's said and done, you're still with the people that you're in alphabetical order. You're still with the people in front of you, and you just start lining up and filing out to the cattle trucks. Some people had buses, some people had cattle trucks. I unfortunately was on a cattle truck, and I'm not gonna name any names or anything like that, just in case somebody from my basic training finds this video. But excuse me, we got shoved. Literally, if you're in the back of the cattle truck, it sucked, because you were literally shoved back there, boots on your butt, boots on your back, shoving you in there, and it was great. It was freaking great. You got your duffel bag here, duffel bag on your back, and maybe another duffel bag on your sides, 2 more duffel bags, and it was great. Hopefully this doesn't mess up the camera, whatever, for the sun. But anyways, and by the way, hopefully the wind doesn't mess all this up. Hopefully you guys can't really hear it. If it does, I won't upload this video, and if you guys do see it, obviously the wind wasn't too bad. But anyways, I'm trying to at least block some out. Whoa. Anyways, that's my engineer shirt, Engineer Castle. Oh. But anyways, yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought for a second. So, oh yeah, we're getting shoved on a cattle truck, and there's little people, big people, obviously tall people, short people, and there's this kid. I think he was 18. This kid was just crying and screaming, because his bags are so heavy, and we were all getting shoved in there, and he was having a hard time holding himself up. So me and this other big guy, we legit helped him out. We picked up his bag. His bag was still on his shoulders, but we picked up the bag enough to where he was standing straight up, and we were holding the bag the entire time until we got to where we were going. And people were crying and screaming and yelling, and people were claustrophobic, so they were freaking out, and it was great. I'm sorry, it was hilarious to me and this other guy, and we were just laughing. And so afterwards, we get on the cattle truck, it starts moving, and this cattle truck is cold, and well, actually it's not really cold because we're running, and all that body heat because we were shoved in, literally shoving us in. So after we're done with that, they take us to where we're going, to our barracks, our bay, and it's sort of a long run, like, because you haven't done exercise or PT or anything like that in reception. So they drop us off at this other end, and they just start screaming, "Get off the fucking bus! Get off the bus! Da, 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 da. Get off the bus!" And so you got all your bags, and in my head, I'm like, just don't fall, because if you fall, you're done. Like, all the adjusters will be around you, just don't fall. So, you know, I'm running, I take off, and there was this girl. She had all her bags, and she was struggling so bad, and she took off and she ran, and she tripped and fell and did like a somersault. Hilarious at the time, still hilarious to this day, and we still make fun of her for it. And all the drill sergeants just start, not sharp knife hand, get up, private, get up, private. I don't think she cried or anything like that, but it was just crazy. And then as soon as you get to where you're going, it has 1, 2, 3, and that's where you line up. And I ran to 3, and you drop your bags and you do all this stuff, like how you see in other videos. Like, you start shuffling your feet and getting a front lean and rest, and you just stay there until everybody's done, and then you go up and you get all your stuff squared away. So I'm pretty sure I spent like 5 minutes talking about going from reception to red phase, and now, or excuse me, reception to basic training, which is red phase. So now I'm gonna get into red phase, and I'm just gonna sum up red phase really quick for you guys. So red phase just consists of you not being able to do what you want to do. You don't own your life, they control your life, everything. Waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, getting up, doing everything, like getting ready, doing PT in the morning. Your first week isn't going to be crazy on PT because you have to learn PRT and the prep drills and all that stuff, and so it's just learning. And once you get all that down, the next week, that's when you really start doing stuff. And I advise you guys to prepare yourself. Me, physically, I was prepared. Running, I'm not a runner. Still to this day, I'm not a runner. I'm getting better at it, but I'm not a runner. Even if you don't do, my advice to you is, if you can't do all 3 and you need to focus on one, focus on running. Because even if you can't do push-ups, sit-ups, you'll get better at that, because you're going to do them every day. So, and then when you're in the bay and reception, you can still work on them there. But I advise you to run, because you're not always going to be able to run. Especially if you go somewhere cold. So, and if it's like snowing, they're not gonna let you run a lot. If it's raining, they don't care. We ran in the soak. We were soaked in everything. They didn't care, but it was cool. It was an experience, you know. So, after all that, let's see what else was there in red phase. You had your first FTX. Your first ruck march was only 2 miles. It wasn't even bad. Your first FTX, which was like a day, if that. You just go out, set up tents, and you just learn like your basic stuff. Hold on, I got some on my finger. Sorry, guys. Yeah, and red phase is pretty much like when you eat, you gotta like do everything the right way. What was it? Something Heals Together. Oh, Heals Together makes your food taste better. That was one of them. You gotta keep your feet touching the wall when you get chow and stuff like that. Then you go and sit down. You're not allowed to have certain things, and if you do, they'll smoke you, which wasn't hard. Being smoked, it's like stupid. But what else? I think I blocked the microphone that whole time. Hopefully it's not bad. Hopefully. But yeah, you get smoked a lot. It's just, red phase is just pretty much you learning how to be a soldier. You go through a bunch of different things, and I'll get more elaborate if you guys want me to. Just ask questions and I'll answer them in the next video or in the comments down below. And pretty much you don't own your life. You can't do anything. So yeah, that's red phase. And then once you go from red to white, that's when you start getting like passes to go, like on Sundays and stuff like that. Maybe like an hour pass, 2 hour pass, whatever. I'll leave you guys with this, a funny story. I think it was either red phase or white phase. When you're eating chow, you're not allowed to talk, and when you're done eating chow, you're supposed to pull out your blue book, the one I showed you in the last video, and you're supposed to study that and read that and learn everything. And I was talking to the guy next to me, and they caught me. And they made him do something different, but they made me read the salt and pepper shaker. Sounds ridiculous, I know. But I look, you know, like when the drill sergeant told me that, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? He said, pick up the salt and pepper shaker and start reading it. And I was like, okay. So I picked up a salt and pepper shaker, And I just look at it, and he says, read the salt and pepper shaker. So I start like skinning my head back and forth, acting like I'm reading the salt and pepper shaker. And after a while, I'm like, this is getting stupid. And then he proceeds to tell me, turn the page. And then I look at him again, I'm like, are you serious? Like, what? He's like, turn the page. So I look at him, and I look at the salt and pepper. He says, switch hands with the salt and pepper shaker. Turn the page. So I switch hands, salt and pepper shaker, salt, pepper, salt goes in the right hand, pepper goes in the left hand. And he says, start reading. So I start reading. And it's crazy. It sounds a lot funnier if you guys are in person. But yeah, I had to read the salt and pepper shaker in basic training. I was just one of many things. So yeah, I'll have more stories like that. I'm sorry that I didn't get too in detail to red phase. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. I can talk about red phase in like 3 videos on exactly what we did and how it went down. But like I said, if you guys have any questions, I'll answer all of them. You just let me know. Yeah, 12 Bravo here signing out. That was whack. It's your boy. I'll make another video hopefully right now when I go throw my clothes in the dryer. I'll make one about white phase. It's been your boy DBBD. Always remember these 3 things. Just keep it real, keep it safe, keep pimping. Deuces.